I guess in a certain way, it wasn't that easy for me either when you think of it.
Remember when Joe Biden gave an address in, like, I think it was Philadelphia, and it was like bathed in red light. The imagery was not great. The optics weren't great. I'll be the first to admit. But one of the criticisms that surrounded that event, kind of kicked off by Brianna Keeler from CNN when they were taking their conservative turn in 2022, there was a lot of criticism for Joe Biden for misusing the United States Marines behind him. They shouldn't have been in the frame. He shouldn't be using those Marines. He should respect the troops. Oh, all the troops are heroes. Our military they're all heroes. Everyone who's ever donned the uniform. All of that is bullshit. Not everybody's I'm not a hero, and I was in the Marine Corps for many years. Most of the people I served with were heroes. It takes a moment to make a hero, not just putting on the uniform. There's nothing heroic about that. But there is something heroic about going into combat, getting wounded, and then being awarded the Purple Heart. The run through here, the through line of what I'm talking about is the fact that all this criticism was levied against Joe Biden for disrespecting the Marines behind him. And where's the media uproar about what took place yesterday? There's a few who are out there complaining about this or pointing it out at the very least. But what Donald Trump did yesterday in it's a repeat of what he's done over the past several years, like almost 10 years now. It's 2025. The first clip, the second clip I'm going to show you is from 2016 of Donald Trump just disrespecting the award of the Purple Heart, the people who were awarded the Purple Heart, but also it gives you a glimpse into the early days of the cult that was starting to form around Donald Trump, where people would give him, multiple people have given Donald Trump their Medal of Honor, their Purple Heart. Something that was awarded to them for injury during combat. Something Donald Trump furiously, in a conspiratorial manner, I mean, not a conspiracy theory, but like in he conspired against the government to not serve his country. Multiple times evaded the draft because of those sore feet. I would love to serve my country, but man, those pesky bone spurs, which I also have, by the way, and have for many, many years. It did not prevent me from service in the United States Marine Corps. But this is what took place at the ceremony yesterday. And I left this first part on. The Associated Press put this little mashup together. And I left this first part on where he's signing the thing and then he's explaining what the Medal of Honor is, because he can't get out of not understanding exactly the solemnity that surrounds this particular award. You don't earn the Medal of, I keep saying the Medal of Honor. You don't earn a Purple Heart, just like the Medal of Honor, or the Navy Cross, or the Army Cross. You don't earn it. It's awarded to you. It's a subtle difference, but it's a difference. And Donald Trump keeps talking about how it was really hard for him to get this award too, just spitting in the face of those who have been awarded. Like, oh, it was really hard for me too to get it, you guys, to have it given to you. Oh. And then I'm going to go back to 2016 where the guy first gave it. And then I'm going to go back to last year when a guy gave it to him, his own, and said, I could think of no one who deserves it more. You're going to witness the formation of the cult in real time. But first, let's start with what happened yesterday.
And we're here to honor and celebrate the unyielding patriotism and grit and devotion to America's Purple Heart veterans is great emotion and great love. The Purple Heart dates back to August 7th, 1782. That's a long time, when General George Washington awarded a heart-shaped purple cloth to 3 soldiers for outstanding gallantry and service in battle. This afternoon, we're joined by dozens of Purple Heart recipients and their families, and just as General Washington did 243 years ago, today we give our everlasting thanks to you and your unbelievable families. We want to thank you very much for being here. It's my great honor. Last year, after an assassin tried to take my life in Butler, Pennsylvania, Thomas generously mailed me one of his Purple Hearts. Many of the other veterans showed me the same unbelievable gesture of kindness, including three-time Purple Heart recipient John Ford and Gerald Enter Jr., who also came along with us and did us a great, great favor. Gerald, John, and Thomas, I want to thank you very much. What a great honor to get those Purple Hearts. I guess in a certain way it wasn't that easy for me either when you think of it, but
I guess in a certain way it wasn't really that easy for me either. In what way was it not easy for you to be handed the award of a Purple Heart from someone who actually got the medal? How was it not easy for you? In what world, in what reality, in what twisted, warped sense of anything honorable whatsoever, you draft-dodging coward, you physical, moral, ethical weakling? And this has been a feature of his personality for decades and decades. When he talked about his personal Vietnam was avoiding sexually transmitted disease during Vietnam, because he wasn't in the war. He wasn't in Vietnam. He wasn't in uniform. He was out there gallivanting in Manhattan, banging the ladies, I guess. This is from 2016. This is from August of 2016. I believe this is the first time, and this is the initial, maybe the seminal moment in the formation of the cult that now surrounds Donald Trump. Watch this and listen to how Donald Trump disregards the achievement, the what it took to be awarded this honor.
You know, something very nice just happened to me. A man came up to me and he handed me his Purple Heart. Now I said to him, is that like the real one or is that a copy? And he said, that's my real Purple Heart. I have such confidence in you. And I said, man, that's like big stuff. I always wanted to get the Purple Heart. This was much easier.
I always wanted to get the Purple Heart. This was much easier, he says smugly, like a moron. Also, as an aside, it's not the point here, but look at the differences between Donald Trump and how he comports himself, how he's diminished in that time. Greatly diminished over time. A lot of the same ideas are still there because that is rooted, that is foundational in him. But this has happened multiple times. On the campaign trail last year, a guy gave him a Purple Heart, awarded Donald Trump his Purple Heart, while saying that he could have thought of no one more deserving than Donald Trump.
Mr. President, we actually have someone that, and before we ask his question, I wanted to read this to the crowd. He had actually written a letter to you after you'd been shot in Pennsylvania. Dear President Trump, watching you during the Butler rally and you getting back up, both my wife and I gave a sigh of relief as well as a few tears. I would be honored if you would accept this small token that I received as a young Marine in Vietnam. My wife and I both thought it appropriate. God bless you, your family, and the United States of America. Sincerely, Dwight. Dwight, where are you at?
Thank you. Whoa. Looks like a check. It's a check, it's cash.
For those of you who may not know, Dwight had given President Trump his Purple Heart.
That's right. That's right.
I couldn't think anybody more deserving of a Purple Heart.
Thank you very much.
I can think of a few people more deserving than Donald Trump of a Purple Heart. Many, hundreds, thousands of people more deserving of a Purple Heart than a man who evaded the draft, dodged service in the United States military. Look, it's not even that if that everyone should be drafted, that everybody should serve. I don't believe that. I don't believe it should be compulsory. I don't. But you don't get to be the guy who acts like you're the most military person. That's something he said over and over. I'm the most military. I'm the most militaristic person. Except you didn't serve. You evaded when the call came. Your number came up. And you avoided military service because you were a rich brat with a silver spoon shoved into your ass. So you don't get it both ways. You don't get to be this wild, mighty, steely-eyed warrior, this patriot of all patriots, while also evading military service. And this is the case with so many, your Ted Cruz's, your Josh Hawley's, all of these smooth-skinned, callous-free Ivy Leaguers. Donald Trump's just another one. And look, not all Ivy Leaguers, I don't have to go through all the things to cover for every single segment. Obviously, there are Ivy League people who served in the military. Lucas Kuntz tried to run for Josh Hawley's seat. Didn't win. There's lots. But there are also, the Republican Party is replete with these patriots who act like nobody's more patriotic than me. I am I'm the embodiment of an eagle. Yet didn't serve. It's the same hypocrisy that I talk about with the Constitution, them yanking their little pocket Constitution out of their pockets while they violate it in the same breath. Anyway, what do you think? Are you with me? Do you see the pattern here? What do you think if you served? If you, look, I don't have a Purple Heart. If you have one, I'd love to hear from you. Whether you agree or disagree, you can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I love and appreciate you very much. Make sure you're subscribed, you share, like, comment on this video, do all the things that please our algorithmic gods. I don't know why I was like tickling the algorithmic gods. Yeah. Who knows? Anyway, I'll see you next time. I love and appreciate you very much. Be genuine and take care of one another.